Welcome back, everybody. Today we will be discussing the Nike Sacai VaporWaffle, Tour Yellow, George Green Sail, and String Black Villain Red. Specifically, we will be discussing some release info, how to cop, and of course, as usual, some resale predictions for both of them at the end of the video. The Sacai Vaporfly and Tour Yellow and also Villain Red both release on December 17th in Europe. However, in the United States, only the Green and Tour Yellow pair will release that day, while the Villain Red pair won't release until December 21st, at least for sneakers. As for the other sites, I still would be prepared in the US, both to be dropping on the 17th. This is the second pair of colorways of the Sacai Vaporfly, following the initial black and white pair. Let me know in the comments down below which one you guys prefer. I'm personally a fan of the white pair. Retail will be $180 on each of these, and regarding resale, we will cover that towards the end of the video as always. Regarding stock, the total stock on each colorway is just over 55,000 pairs worldwide, which is certainly very limited, but not quite as limited as, for example, the Off-White Jordan 5, which was 25,000 pairs across all sizes. So it's not looking terrible, but certainly won't be an easy cop by any means. Essentially the same exact difficulty as what we saw on the white and black pair, which, as you guys know, was by no means easy. With the release info out of the way though, let's jump into how to cop these. If you're interested in some background information regarding these or Sacai in general, feel free to check out my last video where I went in depth into this. I'm not going to mention it again just because I don't want to be too repetitive though. But anyway, moving on. Regarding any raffles, you should expect me to tweet out a list for these somewhat soon, so make sure to follow my Twitter, KeithAdam10, and personals for you. More importantly, I would suggest following for urgent info, such as the Nike Sneakers exclusive access that we actually saw today for the Kobe 6 Grinch, which a lot of people were able to get, so that was nice to see. Now, starting with the Europe drops. Majority of those will be raffles, unfortunately. However, similar to the last drop, I do expect Soulbox to be dropping these just as they did drop the white and black pair. If they don't load the countdown beforehand, which they didn't for those, manual will still be very difficult. However, it should definitely be possible. My biggest suggestion would be to make an account beforehand, add your address in, and be signed into that account as well as PayPal. If you're in the United States, you would have to use a reshipper for Soulbox, unfortunately, that of which I did discuss in my Mocha video, so feel free to check out that video if you haven't already, just for information on the Mochas and also just reshipping in general, because I do feel it is quite handy. Manual users have actually been doing really well off of Soulbox due to their protection and has been stopping bots when the protection is enabled. However, for the best opportunity, you would have to have access to a monitor. If you don't have access to a monitor, if you're not in a group, you still do have a chance though, so be sure to follow More Sneakers on Twitter. They're usually pretty good at tweeting out exactly when Soulbox goes live, which is still going to give you a decent chance, so be sure to give that a try. And unlike Soulbox, Slam Jam on the other hand, I really don't expect them to be too easy manually. Although they do have data don't protection, bots still really do demolish the site, so you definitely don't have the best shot here. But if you do see them go live, feel free to give it a shot. Of course, it should be at a random time. Regarding either one though, if there is no countdown loaded for Soulbox, I would suggest following personals for you and More Sneakers on Twitter. Moving on, Dover Street Market London E-Flash should definitely be dropping. The drop time should be 6 a.m. Eastern Time, or as of recently, they've been doing 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, sometimes even right in between at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And since this is Shopify, stock will definitely fly really quickly, unfortunately. Hopefully, they do add a checkpoint and proxy protection, which they often do. Regardless, I suggest camping in your monitor for the link or refreshing the site. And when it comes to here, a monitor honestly won't give you that much of an advantage compared to the majority of Shopify sites, considering add to cart links actually don't work on Dover Street Market London or New York or any of the regions. So if you are camping in a monitor and you do have access to one, don't use the add to cart links, just click the link and add to cart manually. Moving on though, let's discuss Nike sneakers for Europe and also US. This is going to be your #1 chance by far for copying these, just like it was on the prior release. Feel free to check out this video where I go really in depth into how Nike sneakers works, what doesn't work, and how you're essentially going to have your best chance. Basically, just to give you the most important info, at least what's unique to this drop, this will be at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for US, 9 a.m. CET for Europe, and it will be a Leo drop. A Leo drop essentially looks very similar to a first come first serve, but it's actually just a 2 to 3 minute draw in disguise. Leo stands for Let Everyone Order. If you need to make more accounts, remember that Nike does require SMS verification, and you can't use the same phone number twice, so you will have to ask a friend of yours to use their phone number and ask them for the verification code. However, if you'd rather not bother your friends or you just want a significant amount of pre-verified Nike sneakers accounts in general, feel free to check out my site, TARS. The link for that is in the description below for pre-verified Nike sneakers accounts. So again, US 10 a.m. Eastern time, but keep in mind when it comes to US, unlike Europe, the Villain Reds are actually going to be on the 21st rather than all the other drops being on the 17th. Now, as for unconfirmed potential drops to look out for as well, specifically on Shopify, there are a few that I do think should be dropping these, but the first one I wanted to mention, because I just want to go in chronological order, I actually don't think we'll be dropping. This is going to be Undefeated, and I'm saying this just because I didn't expect them to initially drop the white and black pair, and they didn't end up dropping those white and black pairs, so I definitely don't expect these to drop, but regardless, since there's nothing else going on at the usual drop times for Undefeated, which is usually 8 a.m. Eastern time, I would suggest giving it a try regardless. If they don't end up dropping at 8 a.m. Eastern time, it's also worth checking at 12 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. or 1:15. That's often when they do drops for these really hype products, if it's not 8 a.m. Make sure you are signed into an account beforehand, as it is required for Undefeated. On the other hand, though, I am very confident that Kith will be dropping, but as of now, I would highly suggest that you are prepared for this. Stock is normally pretty good here, and although bots do pretty well as well, Manual also does still see some decent success. On the Off-White Jordan 5 drop, for example, there actually was a lot of success on a shoe even more limited than these, so regardless, definitely worth a try. It's definitely worth checking. If you're in a group and you have access to an early link, make sure to use that, and if not, just try searching for Sacai and refreshing the search page at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Again, I'm also very confident that Dover Street Market London E-Flash will be dropped, and that would also mean that if they drop, then Dover Street Market New York should also be dropping. The only difference is Dover Street Market New York only ships to the US, and they will be dropping at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So it's basically just the same exact process as I was mentioning beforehand. Hopefully they do add the checkpoint and proxy protection, and regardless, I would suggest camping in your monitor for the link, and just remember not to use the add to cart links, only use the direct link and add to cart manually. Again, since it is a Shopify site, stock will definitely fly, so it's not going to be an easy comp here. But anyway, that will conclude it for the how to cop portion of the video. Now let's discuss resale. Evidently, as I mentioned earlier in the video, stock is very low for these. More importantly, demand is very high for these, primarily due to the fact that Sacai Nike collab tend to perform very well normally, and these are no exception. Just note that I do not expect these to perform as well as the initial white and black pair, those of which definitely will maintain higher prices than these, but regardless though, I do still expect these to be very profitable with a great margin too. Definitely go full throttle without a doubt. So anyway, that will conclude it. Good luck on this drop. We're all going to need it, to say the least. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video or you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and enable post notifications just to stay 100% updated on all hyped sneaker releases. And remember, if you guys do need reliable, fast, residential proxies or Nike sneakers accounts, be sure to check the links in the description for TARS and Kit proxies. And of course, follow my Twitter, KeithAdam10, and personals for you, just so you're always 100% updated on everything. With that though, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and good luck on this drop.
Why are you always in my way? Knocking me over every single day. Get your foot on my foot.